All right, hello everyone. So this is going to be a quick quiz slash review for the fibula. So you can go ahead and I would grab a piece of paper and pen to write out your answers. You can pause the video at any time if you need some extra time on a question, and we'll get started. So the first question is going to be, is this a left or a right fibula? Right, so I'm going to show you a couple different views. I'll kind of rotate it and go ahead and write your answer down, and then we're going to go through the landmarks and then go back through the answers, so that we can kind of review how to identify if this is a right or a left. So pause the video if you need to look at any different views. So I'm just kind of rotating it around. All right, I'm going to stop it here real quick, and we're going to go through a couple landmarks here. All right. So the first question, or second technically, is going to be identify this area of the fibula. What would be the name of that area? And the next one is going to be circle this entire structure here. Next one will be up here. And the last will be the bottom of number 3. It's the very tip. All right, so there is still one other landmark that we're gonna do. We just have to switch views. So before we get to that, we're gonna go over the ones that we see here. So number 2 is going to be, so remember, pause if you need to, if you didn't finish yet. And on the answers, we'll go over those now. So number 2 is going to be the shaft. And make sure when you're taking a quiz, practical, whatever it is, always identify the bone you're talking about. Right here, I'm just gonna abbreviate for a lot of them, keep it short, just to save time and it's a little bit easier. But for any assessment, you need to put the entire name. So especially for shaft, you could be talking about a whole host of bones that have shafts. So you need to say shaft of the fibula or fibular shaft, something to that effect. All right, so number 3 is going to be the lateral malleolus. All right, so that's at the distal portion of the fibula. Number 4, that's going to be the head. Same thing as the shaft, you'll need to say head of the fibula, right? Because that could be, you could be talking about any bone. We wouldn't know unless you identify. And 5 is going to be the styloid process. All right, so just that end of the fibula, very tip. All right, so using this view, you can kind of start to identify if you're looking at a left or a right. So the biggest identifying feature for the fibula is definitely going to be the lateral malleolus, because we want that to be obviously lateral, so facing away from the midline. And we also, I'm going to go ahead and erase these so we can see a little bit more. We also want it to be pointing down and back. Okay, so the fibula is, so this is, we're looking at the lateral side of the fibula right now. So if we were to go back and rotate it, oopsies, draw that line. This is going to be the anterior view. Let me get rid of that. All right, so that lateral malleolus, you can see you want that facing the outside, so you can see the bulk of it is facing kind of towards the outside. All right. So we always want that lateral malleolus to be facing away from our midline and pointing down and back. Using that, so if we know that this is anterior, and you can kind of compare. So in here, we'll go over these landmarks, but there's a difference in the look of the head of the fibula. So from this angle, on this side, so the head, there's a little crevice in here, and we'll go over that soon. That's how you know that that's going to be the medial portion of the tibia, because that portion is going to articulate with another bone. We'll go over that soon. So then you know this part is lateral, because that lateral malleolus is sticking out some more, and it's not articulating with any bones on the lateral side. So using all that information, you can tell that this is a left fibula. All right, and then the very last landmark is going to be that crevice I was talking about. Up at the proximal portion. So you can imagine it's kind of like a thumb size. You could stick your thumb right in there. And that's going to be, well, first of all, it's number 6. So go ahead and write your answer down before we go over it. All right, go ahead and pause if you need to. But the answer is going to be the tibial articular facet. All right, so it's called the tibial articular facet because this is the portion proximally that articulates with the tibia. All right, so if you remember, it articulates with the fibular articular facet on the tibia. So the names are reversed because of the articulation sites. Right. All right, so that's going to cover all the landmarks on the tibia. Excuse me, on the fibula. So this the last thing that I want to go over is going to be the other articulation site. So at the distal portion down here is going to be another site that the fibula articulates with the tibia. The specific landmark that you need to know is on the tibia. The fibular notch on the tibia is where the distal portion of the fibula articulates. And the distal fibula also is going to articulate with the talus on your foot and ankle. So it's going to, there's going to be a couple of different ligaments that attach the fibula to the ankle so that you maintain stability in that area. So yeah, if you have any questions about any of these landmarks on the fibula, feel free to come to Open Lab and we can go over it with either myself or any of the other TAs, or go to office hours with any of the instructors and make sure you have those landmarks down. All right. Hope everyone has a good rest of your day.